Hello there, my name is Matt Wilson, and this is for CSE 340 on arrays in PHP, specifically numeric and associative arrays. A lot of my resources that I used for this comes from W3 Schools, and they have it's not comprehensive, but they certainly break down the basics of using PHP arrays, and was a very useful site in researching this presentation. A quick refresher, I'm going to assume that most people in this class have worked with arrays in some form or another before. But arrays allow us to hold multiple values in one variable. In PHP, numerical arrays start at 0. Any data type can be in an array, and that includes objects and arrays. Arrays in an array are called multidimensional arrays, and that's beyond the scope of my presentation. One of the types of arrays I'll be talking about, the associative array, is similar to Python's dictionary data structure, if you're familiar with that. But most of the arrays that we'll be dealing with are likely to be numerical. A numerical array, up at the top here, is declared using the array command, variable equals, and I loaded the 3 values in there. I'm using strings for everything that I do because they're a little bit more fun in here, but it can very easily have just been numbers or variables of objects or whatever data types that you would want in there could be in there. And I don't know why that's vanished, but here it is. You can also, once you have an array, you can print them out and access the variable, the information in the variable, simply by using square brackets and referring to the number that is there. There's a second way that you can also declare things, and that's just to skip using array and just start throwing what number that you want into the variable using the same square brackets. If you use a higher number of array, for instance, if I did second array square bracket 7, close square bracket, equals Stephanie, then 3, 4, 5, and 6 would all be blank. As far as I'm aware, PHP handles a lot of the things where you don't need to worry about going out of bounds as you're declaring things. An associative array uses the assignment operator that we learned about this last week. And for an associative array, there is a key and then there is a value. So for this one, Bob is the key, and we're giving him value 3 again. Jake is the key, and we're giving him value 1. Sam is the key, we're giving him value 9. And down here in our printout statement, we do variable square bracket and then the key, and close the square bracket to pull it out. And that allows us to bring up whatever is on the other side of that is the value. After the key. And just like the numerical array, we don't have to use the array function here, although it's certainly going to be, if you have a simple array that you want to make sure that you can read what's going on, using the array function to create it is certainly going to be a little bit more legible when you come back later on. But yeah, you are able to just name a key and name a value and create your array that way. PHP, the array data structure, has a lot of useful stuff built into it. The W3 Schools has a link from there to the full object reference, and there are a lot of functions that are extremely useful, and there's no point in us recreating the wheel. So I've made a number list here just to give some examples of what you can do. Count is probably going to be the one that you use a lot, and you just throw count as a function and send it the array, and it'll return the number of items in that array. Simple enough. array underscore rand gives us a random element from the array. And we can also use sort and reverse sort to sort it without having to write an algorithm ourselves. Is it going to be the best algorithm for our purposes? Probably not. But for most simple cases where we're not having to deal with a bunch of data and need it to be sorted a certain way, this should be sufficient. There is also an A sort and an AR sort that allows us to sort associative arrays by their key value, which can be helpful as well. Finally, for useful functions, there's a print underscore R or a var underscore dump that prints out what's in the array. Not in a very pretty way. It's not customer facing, but it does make it a lot easier to figure out exactly what is in that array and why things are going wrong. So very useful for debugging there if your software doesn't allow you to do it yourself. To loop through a numerical way, pretty simple. We just do a simple for loop using the length of the array and run through it. Looping through an associative array is a little bit trickier, and we want to use the for each command. For each with the array name as key and value, and feel free to name these whatever the heck you need to, and print it out like that. And that is PHP Arrays. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will endeavor to answer them. I've just realized I left off a semicolon at the variable declaration there, and I wonder how many times I've done that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.